What's up? Good morning. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. It is Tuesday, the 10th of March, and markets are kind of quiet, trying to rally a little bit here. Quite the day yesterday, and if you had listened to the Market 120, you would have heard me say that don't be surprised if the markets close up on the day and the crude oil closes down on the day, and that is exactly what that exact item happened. So again, listen, we're not geniuses, we're not forecasters, but at the end of the day, you can kind of see that coming when you see a market that does, well, you can look at USO that does this. There's a high probability it's going to come back down. And when you see a big overnight sell-off, there's a pretty high probability there'll be some sort of rally. So basically, we go back to the probability side of trading. Let's see if we can get, right now, we don't have anything. There was a trade in crude, which is a small win right now. But right now, all we're waiting for is to see if we can get, a rally big enough to trigger a trade. And it looks like it'll take some time to get there. But at the end of the day, that's what we do. We wait, we're patient. And I got to do a quick trade here while I'm talking to you. I got to do a manual roll for my hedging. Sorry guys, hold on 1 second so that I can get this done. Where are we at here? I got to go back the 30 by 130. Just give me a second. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we're good there. All right. So, again, we're going to see. We need the market to push higher to get a sale. Right now, that would be our closest probability trade, which would be a sale, but it doesn't mean that it won't change. But we'll take a look at the rest. We got volatility that's coming in a little bit. It was very high yesterday. It was in the mid-30s. You look at Apple, really nothing to do. It came off of our support level we talked about, off of 255, back to 261, but we have no trades there. Amazon is still kind of in the middle of nowhere, nothing for us to really do. Obviously, if you're looking at this, we'd be looking at a call seller or a call spread seller somewhere around 220, and a put spread seller somewhere under 200. Not really, and nothing really to do right here. Coin, again, you're going to see a lot of this as we remain slow. Let's just go back and see if anything's going on here that might trigger some action. We'd need a rally in gold up another 10 or 12 bucks to get something there. That's one of the things we just always have to be prepared for. Obviously, the business is really based on how patient can you be. And of course, that is always something that is important to understand, is the ability to be patient. And let the markets trade and wait for your opportunities. Crowd, this is one we picked off here up beautifully. Nothing for us to do here. It is at resistance. From a resistance standpoint, I might like to sell it, but for what we do here, I have to wait a little bit longer. But we did talk about it, and we did actually buy it down here, or we didn't buy it. We sold put spreads down there. Obviously get a very big move. ETHA still stuck in nowhere's land, right in the middle of consolidation. Meta is still stuck in consolidation. So you can see that even though there might be some action, there's really not much to do. Google, nothing. INOQ, nothing. Let's just go back and see as the rally continues a little bit here. So again, we don't have anything triggering in our day trading, and we are using our trade assist software, which is what triggers the trades that we make. And they're based on the parameters that I trade manually. So it makes it easier though, so everybody can see them. Let's go back to where we were. And IWM, certainly from a trading standpoint, I'd like to be a seller here. But from what we do here, there's nothing to do. It was actually a sell put spread yesterday for the day, which I did do. Obviously, you weren't here, so it doesn't really count. MP, really just in consolidation, getting narrower and narrower. This is going to make a pretty big move at some point here. Usually when you start to see the diamond I drew in here, usually you get some kind of move here. Microsoft, still consolidating. MSTR, still consolidating. Certainly closer to a potential sell of some call spreads, but really nothing right now at the moment that we'd be looking to do. Hold on, let's see something here. Okay. Netflix certainly did fail at resistance, but again, it wasn't something that we qualify. NNE, close, would have been something potentially yesterday. Nugget, nothing to do. NVIDIA, nothing to do. Palantir, nothing to do. QBTS, really nothing to do. The Qs, from what I teach you here about waiting for the extension, nothing to do. But if you want to play this resistance, I would sell some call spreads if the stock continued to rally a little bit. And I would sell them for today or tomorrow. SMCI just stuck in a tight range. The spiders, certainly, again, from a different type of trading that we would do, I would be looking to be a seller of some call spreads here. The major indices, the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P broke down yesterday, actually the last couple of days. So now they're just rallying back into resistance, which is where I would be a seller under a different model. XYZ, nothing to do. Tesla came off yesterday. Again, nothing to do. Win, nothing to do. XBI, nothing to do. Actually, which I don't trade, nothing to do. And Zoom, really nothing to do. So there's, again, from the extension of where we sell credit from, there really isn't much to do. Okay. It doesn't mean that you can't find trades that you would make. And there are trades that I will make, but I don't necessarily, again, obviously some of the things I do are a little bit more complex. I try to give you the easiest things to do that are very limited on risk and reward, but they're very high probability setups, and they don't take much risk, which is obviously what we do. It's kind of our new product that we have, Day Trade Finder. We're doing a lot of prop stuff, with prop accounts. We're just selling premium daily, which, again, you can take a little bit more there because you're trading other people's money. So it's something that you can certainly potentially look at. But from our standpoint here, there really is not much for us to do at the moment. So we'll continue to watch and look, and we'll look at some of the other markets while we're waiting for something to go on. I mean, I'll be able to tell. The dollar index is just stuck between 98 and the dollar. Euro currency bounced perfectly off a bottom. And this is a perfect example of a false breakout to the downside. We're now back stuck in that consolidating range. Nothing for us to do. You can see we talked about this selling 114 in the notes. Collapse, came right down to our support at 112, now bouncing. I would be a seller at 114 again. Same thing in the bonds, 119, 116. I'd be a seller at 119. Bitcoin popped off of our level, but it's really still in consolidation. Not a lot to get overly excited about. Gold still obviously consolidating as well. It is breaking out of our little area we drew here the other day, but you're really just in a consolidation pattern. There's nothing that's all that exciting, all that crazy that we have to get involved with. And again, that's what we're waiting for, is for very high probability setups that allow us to want to trade into. Again, I'm here to protect you and kind of help you. So that's there are certain trades that I don't make, generally that I might make myself. And I'll always tell you what I will do. Just want you to be prepared as we look. And silver really just in consolidation. Copper, I would be a seller at $6 if it gets there. Grain markets under a little pressure. I'd be a buyer of wheat down around 570. Buyer of corn around 440. Soybeans about 1180. Again, that's provided you trade those products. Crude, I'm a seller. Wherever I can find a place to sell it. Right now, I've already done it. I sold it last week. I was short coming into that monster rally. I sold more at 117 and 119. So it's paying off okay now. And natural gas, nothing to do right in here. We were buyers at 310 and then buyers at 280. So, but overall, not a lot going on. So we'll sit here and watch and see if we can trigger something. Maybe gold will give us a trade. Need a little bit more of a rally to get it. And again, when you look at this, it's got to be with the speed of the market so that it'll catch up to the band. The key is that it goes through the band. That's what we're looking for. And unfortunately, not always happened. But that's what we're looking for this to get up and reach the band. And of course, the bands will go with the trend. So what you need to change that is the speed of which the market is going up or down. That is faster than at which the pace the bands move. Okay. So anyways, here we are. We're waiting, we're watching, and we'll see. I don't know. I think it's just still kind of slow and not a hell of a lot to do. So we just have to be patient enough to wait for it. And that's kind of the whole ordeal. And if you have, as always, if you have questions, feel free to ask. If you have questions about any particular security or stock or option, you're going to ask that too. I'm not afraid. I'll answer any question you have. Okay, that's why I'm here. That's what the whole Tradier platform is for, is to help educate traders in different forms of trading. There's obviously a lot of us that do this for Tradier and a lot of different styles. So, certainly if you want to know more about my style, you have a question of your own, I think that's important. That's one of the beautiful things of having a live room, is that you can actually get immediate answers to questions that you have right away. So if you do have questions, feel free to ask. In the meantime, if you're a futures trader, our gap hunter is working phenomenal, as well as some of the other things that we do. So if you want any more information, just reach out to me. But a lot of things, that we're just looking at. And again, from what we're trying to do here in a very short period of time, there really isn't much to do. So we just continue to sit back and watch it and wait and chat. What can I tell you? Not going to force a trade just to force a trade. Doesn't make sense. And that's one of the things we have to always learn, is that we don't have to force trades. It's more about being patient and waiting for your opportunities as they come. And again, unfortunately, right now there is not a lot of opportunity. We do have something potentially coming in gold. It needs a little bit bigger rally, needs to be a little bit faster. But the other thing you want to remember is that no trade, or the decision not to make a trade, is the same thing as a trade. It's a break-even trade, which, sometimes break-even trades are better. So just be prepared again, that's important thing is to understand about the world of trading is the biggest thing is you have to be patient. Okay. That's the biggest thing I can ever tell you is you need to be patient when trading. Because there'll be plenty of opportunity if you wait, but if you blow your brains out trying to force things early, it doesn't work out very well. Okay. And then you lose too much money and then you change your whole style of trade. So you just have to be patient and wait for it. And that's always something that we discuss and worry about as we trade here. We're not going to force trades. Just doesn't make sense. So doesn't appear like we're going to get anything, but you never know. That's why we watch. It's a game of patience, thinking ahead, being prepared, and being ready when the action does indeed show up. And sometimes it just doesn't show up. So you just have to say, hey, nothing to do. This week in our live trading room, yesterday, 0 trades. Today, 2 small winners. Here, no trades so far. And it doesn't, if I were to guess, if I were to bet, I would bet we don't get any trades. That would be my bet right now. So in the meantime, here we are, watching and waiting. But it appears to be all in vain, all for nothing. So I'll see you Thursday. Obviously, remember, I do a market 120 every day, give you an idea of what I'm seeing in the markets in the morning. And until Thursday, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.